You know. Actually, I have a favor to ask Grandma.
One morning, my granddaughter Lily, who had just started elementary school, shyly began the conversation.
It's Grandpa's birthday soon, right? So, Lily wants to make a lunchbox for him all by myself.
What a sweet surprise, Lily, you really love Grandpa, don't you? I wholeheartedly supported my granddaughter's wonderful idea, and from that day, we secretly started preparing the lunch together. Then came my husband's birthday.
I'll deliver the lunchbox to Grandpa. Grandma, you can just wait at home.
Although I was a bit worried, I decided to see Lily off at the front door. It's about the same distance as her school, so she'll be fine, right? And what perfect timing for her first errand to be a surprise for her grandpa. However, an hour later, a phone call drastically changed the situation. It was the news that Lily had been involved in a traffic accident. Rushing to the hospital room, I found Lily, who looked completely different from just an hour before, quietly sleeping. At the same time I lost my words. I was overwhelmed with intense regret and self-blame. Why did I let her go alone? Why didn't I insist she wait just a little longer? Why then? It's all my fault. If I had been more careful, this tragedy would not have happened. And on that day, Lily never woke up. We didn't say it out loud, but at that moment, we were prepared to say goodbye to Lily. However, the next day, a miracle happened. Lily regained consciousness. It was in the afternoon.
Lily, how are you feeling?
Her beloved grandpa had come to visit, so of course, Lily would be thrilled. Everyone thought so and felt at ease, but then Lily's face began to turn paler.
Grandpa? What? What should I do?
The next moment, as my husband approached Lily.
No. Don't come closer, Grandpa.
Lily trembled and dived under the covers, crying out loud. This bizarre situation caused the nurses to rush over from the nurse station, and my husband and I were forced out of the room in confusion. What could have happened between the two of them who were so close? Only Lily knew the answer. I am Sarah Parker. I'm a housewife in my 50s. Currently, I live with my husband Michael, my daughter Emma, and my granddaughter Lily, making it 4 of us. The story goes back about 5 years. Emma's husband had an abnormality detected during a health checkup 2 years before his passing, but from there, his condition deteriorated rapidly. Despite aggressive treatment, he died young at 31. Back then, whenever Emma was overwhelmed with part-time work and supporting her husband, we would take care of Lily at our home, or I would go to Emma's apartment to help out with household chores. 3 years ago, after the funeral, I suggested Emma move in with us. Hey, Emma, why don't you live with us? It's an old house, but it's better than coping alone. Michael agrees too. What do you think? Much later, I found out that Emma had secretly hoped to move in as well. But thinking it was too much to ask, she had prepared to live just with Lily. Unexpectedly, I was the one who brought it up. Though she felt a bit guilty, realizing it was okay to rely on us made her feel better.
Mom, thank you. I'll be in your care again, along with my daughter.
Emma answered with a smile, her eyes slightly teary. It was worth mustering up the courage to reach out and speak. Seeing her smile at that moment, I truly felt it from the bottom of my heart. This is how our family came to be in its current form. Emma went from part-time to full-time, working late every day. I took over dropping off and picking up Lily from daycare, and when Lily caught a cold, I would take her to see the doctor and nurse her back to health. Honestly, although my age does make it tough physically at times, thinking of my adorable granddaughter, it surprisingly never felt like a burden. This spring, Lily started elementary school. Seeing Lily head to school with her brand new backpack, so happy, reminded me of Emma when she was young, and it made me feel even more love for her. At the same time, it was a deeply emotional moment. Lily has grown up so much. Lily is of course attached to me, but she was very fond of her grandpa, Michael. This is just my guess, but I think she sees the image of her late father in him. Lily showed Michael a different expression, clearly distinct from the way she showed affection towards her grandpa. Michael himself noticed this early on. It was a complex feeling for him, but he thought, if it helps Lily stay happy, then that's okay, and he accepted the situation as it was. I agree with his thinking. The most important thing is that Lily's mental well-being is stable. Just ordinary days. We were painfully reminded 3 years ago that peaceful days are the greatest happiness. After the summer passed and Lily turned 7, a change occurred. One early morning, as I was making lunch for Michael and Emma to go like usual, Lily woke up.
Grandma, what are you doing?
Oh, Lily, you're up early today. This is the lunch for Grandpa and Mom. They don't have a cafeteria meal like you, so Grandma makes lunch for them every day.
Every day. Grandma, you make it all by yourself every day.
Yes, that's right. When spring comes and it's time for the sports day, I'll make one for you too.
Wow, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Grandma.
It was a normal conversation. Just a normal morning when Lily happened to wake up early. However, who could have known that this early rising would lead to such events? I had no way of knowing at that time. From that day, Lily started waking up early wanting to help with making lunches. There's a saying, the early bird catches the worm. So I thought it was a great opportunity, and I agreed to Lily's request. Standing together in the kitchen with Lily in the mornings felt refreshingly pleasant and always brightened my mood. Lily herself also began to enjoy being able to help more and more. Being involved in my granddaughter's growth is such a joy, even at this age. There are still so many things I don't know. What started as something for Lily's sake had also become a pleasure for myself. As the sports day ended and the sunny season began, my husband's birthday was approaching. One morning, as we were making lunch as usual, Lily seemed restless. Wondering if something was on her mind, I tilted my head, and Lily shyly started to speak.
Actually, I have a favor to ask, Grandma.
A favor? Oh, what is it?
You know, it's almost Grandpa's birthday, right? So, I want to make a lunch for him to go all by myself.
Lily wanted to give her grandpa homemade lunch she had prepared as a birthday present. What a sweet surprise. Lily, you really love Grandpa, don't you? I wholeheartedly agreed with my granddaughter's lovely proposal. and secretly practiced making egg cuisine, which are my husband's favorite, without him noticing, while also planning her homemade lunch menu. My husband later found out why there were so many egg cuisine at dinner during this time, and he chuckled sheepishly.
So, those egg cuisine were for me, huh?
His smile then was a precious expression that I rarely see, even after decades of marriage. I thought this happiness would last forever. On the morning of the birthday, Lily started making the lunchbox with enthusiasm. The homemade lunch contained 2 sandwiches with ham and tomatoes, and the thick omelet she had practiced in secret.
Let's see. Add a bit salt to the eggs. Grandma, is this much oil okay, eh?
You should add a little more.
Got it? Then I'll pour in half of the eggs.
With the real deal finally at hand, Lily was cooking more carefully than usual. I supported her while making sure everything was ready in time for work. The months of practice had paid off. Lily's lunch making was going very smoothly. But then, an unexpected event occurred. While my husband was eating breakfast in the living room, a phone call came through.
Hello, what? A mistake in the order. When did you find out? Okay, understood. I'll come right away, get everything ready.
From his tone, I could tell that the caller was a colleague from his company, and it seemed that some trouble had occurred. After dumping his half-finished coffee in the sink, my husband turned to Lily with an apologetic look.
It seems there's trouble at the office. Sorry, but Grandpa has to go right now.
What? But the lunch isn't ready yet. Can't you wait just a little longer?
I'm sorry. I have to go now, or it'll cause trouble for everyone. I'll eat the lunch for dinner.
Oh no. It was almost done.
Lily's face fell as she felt the surprise was ruined. After all that practice, to fail like this, I know. Not wanting Lily's efforts and feelings to go to waste, I suggested on the spur of the moment, once the lunch is ready, we'll deliver it. It's Saturday today, and there's no school, right? Let's do that. Brightened by my suggestion, Lily's face lit up again. She then bounced excitedly and pleaded while grabbing her grandpa's right arm.
That's right. When the lunch is ready, I'll deliver it. Lily will bring it to Grandpa. Okay, Grandpa?
Softened by her adorable gesture, my husband momentarily smiled warmly. Then squatting down in front of Lily, he gently stroked her head and replied,
Sure. Will you deliver it once it's ready? I'll let the receptionist know too.
Yes. I'll definitely go. It's a promise. Pinky promise.
Lily became even happier, responding with a beaming smile, and held out her pinky in front of her grandpa.
Okay, it's a promise.
My husband intertwined his pinky with hers, and they said together, "Pinky promise." And as he declared, he hurried off to the office. I was worried for a moment there, but it looks like he's going to eat it without any trouble. Now, let's finish on making the sandwiches and lay them out.
Yes.
Though taken aback by the unexpected turn of events, it seemed that the surprise homemade lunch could be delivered as originally planned. Both Lily and I, who had been supporting her all along, breathed a sigh of relief. However, that complacency might have been a mistake. I was about to make the biggest mistake of my life. When the homemade lunch was ready, Lily said,
I want to deliver it right now.
However, Both of us were so engrossed in making the lunch that we hadn't even had breakfast yet. Also, right now might be too soon, as the trouble at the office might not have been resolved. In the worst case, we might not even be able to meet my husband. So I suggested, if we go now, he might still be busy at work. So, let's have breakfast together first. But Lily insisted.
I want to deliver it right away.
I tried to convince her for a while, but today of all days, she wouldn't budge. She couldn't suppress her desire to deliver the lunch she made for her grandpa as soon as possible. Lily pleading this desperately is a first. I guess I have to give in this time. She's as stubborn as Michael, that's for sure. Finding an unexpected similarity between my husband and granddaughter, I couldn't help but smile. Then, I packed the freshly made lunch and cutlery into the usual lunch bag and handed it to Lily, saying, "Shall we go deliver it now?" Lily nodded happily, hugging the lunchbox carefully. "Hey, can you wait just a moment while I get ready to go out?" I couldn't go to my husband's company without putting on makeup and fixing my hair. So, I asked Lily for some time to prepare. However, Lily said,
I can go by myself, it's okay. Grandma, you make breakfast and wait here.
Then she put on her shoes, opened the front door, and left. "Hey, wait a minute, Lily." I rushed to stop her, but she was already outside. I raised my voice slightly and told her, "It's dangerous to go alone. I'll be quick, let's go together." But I couldn't stop her.
I've been there before, it's okay. I'll deliver the lunchbox to Grandpa. Grandma, you can wait at home.
Saying this, she moved further and further away from home. At that moment, I thought, maybe it's impossible to stop Lily today. While I was worried, I underestimated the situation. Well, it's only a 15-minute walk, right? She walks that far to school every morning. I called out to her. "Be careful around cars, okay? Did you hear me?" And then, I just watched her go. Lily smiled brightly at me and energetically waved her hand, replying,
Got it? I'm off.
And she happily headed towards her grandpa's place. I watched Lily's retreating figure until she disappeared from sight. To tell the truth, we had visited the company a few times together when I needed to drop off something my husband had forgotten. The route was quite straightforward. Just cross the signal at the main street and go straight. Plus, Lily had been asking to run errands on her own for a while. Her first errand being a surprise lunch for her grandpa. How wonderful is that? It was the perfect timing for Lily to accomplish what she wanted and to give a gift to her grandpa. At that moment, my heart was filled more with joy and a sense of accomplishment than with worry. However, an hour later, a phone call dramatically changed the situation. "Hello, this is Parker. What? The hospital? Oh no, is that true? Could there be a mistake? Yes, okay, I'll be there right away." It was the bad news that Lily had been involved in a traffic accident. I rushed to the hospital I was directed to and immediately made an inquiry at the reception. I was then quickly guided to the intensive care unit. The Lily I was reunited with was completely wrapped in bandages, with many tubes attached to her arms, quietly sleeping. She looked so different from just an hour before, and I was at a loss for words. At the same time, I thought to myself, it's my fault. If only I had insisted she stay. If only I would have head to his office with Lily, not worrying about makeup or hairstyles. If I hadn't said we'd deliver it later, this tragedy wouldn't have happened. Such self-blaming thoughts filled my mind, darkening everything before me. I don't know how many minutes passed since I arrived at the hospital. Next thing I knew, my daughter Emma and my husband had arrived in front of the hospital room. Emma, I'm so sorry. I've done something terrible. I'm so sorry.
Mom, calm down. It's not your fault, okay?
Emma's right. Let's just pray that Lily wakes up.
But it's my fault that Lily is in this state. I shouldn't cry. I don't deserve to cry. Even though I fought this, the regret that welled up came out as tears, unstoppable. And on this day, Lily did not wake up. Though we didn't speak it out loud, we were prepared for the worst. But the next day, a miracle happened.
Lily, I'm so glad you woke up.
At dawn, Lily regained consciousness and was even able to eat a little. Perhaps due to the frightening accident, her expression remained tense, but fortunately, it seemed unlikely that there would be any disabilities or lasting effects. The accident Lily was involved in was caused by a driver running a red light. The offender's car collided with a turning vehicle, which was then thrown onto the sidewalk, where Lily was waiting for the traffic light to turn. Perhaps it was a blessing in disguise that a traffic light pole stood between Lily and the car, as it appears to have prevented a direct collision. Nevertheless, when she was knocked down along with the pole, she hit her head hard, and numerous tests had been scheduled as a result. Emma and I spent the day by Lily's side to ensure she didn't feel anxious, taking care of her physical needs and providing emotional support. Although Lily's expression was stiff in the morning, by the time the morning exams were over, she was able to smile. As the visiting hours were drawing to a close in the afternoon,
How's it going? Lily,
my husband, who had rushed to finish his work, managed to arrive just in time. At that moment, Emma and I thought the same thing. We're going to see Lily's best smile today. Given that Lily's beloved grandpa, who she adores, came to visit, there's no reason for her not to be happy. Everyone felt this way, settling into a calm mood.
Grandpa? Oh, what should I do?
Then, Lily's face began to pale significantly.
Lily? What's wrong? You're turning pale.
We were all perplexed by her unexpected reaction. However, undoubtedly the most confused was my husband.
Lily, what's wrong? Are you okay? Look, I brought your favorite candy.
As he said this and moved closer to Lily, the next moment,
No. Grandpa, don't come closer.
Lily trembled and dived under the covers, bursting into tears. Her bizarre behavior prompted nurses to rush over from the nurses' station, and my husband and I were ousted from the room amidst the confusion. From behind the closed door, we could faintly hear Lily's crying and Emma's soothing voice.
Did I do something to upset Lily?
I have no idea what's going on. For now, let's leave it to Emma and head back home.
Yeah, you're right.
Supporting my disheartened husband, we quietly left the hospital room. That night, I checked in with Emma, who had stayed in the hospital room.
After Dad left, she calmed down, and there were no issues with her meal or exams. but she didn't tell me why she cried.
Emma was just as puzzled. My husband was more disheartened than anyone by this unexplained situation.
I've been thinking, maybe she's upset because the accident prevented her from delivering the lunchbox? Maybe she thought Dad would be mad at her.
Emma voiced a possible reason based on Lily's behavior, which made sense to both my husband and me. Indeed, that could be it. Tomorrow, let's talk to Lily about it. Once she knows that Michael isn't mad, she'll probably feel more comfortable meeting him.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm counting on you.
With that, we felt a bit more hopeful. However, the reality might not be so simple. The next day, as Emma was at work, I went alone to see Lily. Timing my visit after her morning routine and exam preparations, I decided to bring up the topic. Hey, Lily, about yesterday.
Yesterday?
You remember how you cried because you didn't want to see Grandpa? I have something to discuss about that. Is that okay? As I cautiously broached the subject, Lily's expression tensed up again. Then, as if trying to escape from my words, she pulled the covers over her head, looking frightened.
Don't call Grandpa. Absolutely not.
Grandpa isn't mad at all, so you can relax, okay? I hurriedly tried to reassure Lily, but it seemed like my words didn't reach her. Ultimately, my husband couldn't visit Lily that day. Since then, I kept suggesting that she meet with her grandpa whenever an opportunity arose.
Please, don't bring Grandpa. I don't want to see him.
However, Lily just kept crying, and for days we couldn't even understand the reason. Emma and I even wondered for a time if there was something my husband had done to cause such fear in Lily. It seems impossible, but could Michael have done something terrible to Lily? Maybe something that put mental pressure on her or too harsh discipline.
It's reported in the news sometimes, but I really don't think Dad would do that. He's always been kind to me, without any change.
Right. It wouldn't make sense for Michael to do such a thing. So what is Lily so afraid of?
That's exactly it. I consulted the doctor, and he said, it might be confusion due to the shock from the accident. It's better to wait for recovery before resolving this. It's tough on Dad, but we might just have to be patient for a while.
That's all we can do. For Lily's sake, let's do everything we can right now. Given my husband's character and his usual behavior, it seemed unthinkable that he would have done something terrible to Lily. However, given Lily's extreme fear, something definitely had happened. But what it was, we still didn't understand. Could it really be confusion from the shock of the accident, as the doctor suggested? If so, what was Lily misunderstanding? The answer became clear a few weeks later. The day before her discharge, Lily, although set to be discharged, had a somber look. I quickly realized that it was because of my husband. Tomorrow, we'll return to our normal life, but if it stays like this, the relationship between grandfather and granddaughter might become completely different from before. This might be our last chance. I sat down on a nearby chair and asked Lily gently, "Before we go home, there's something I'd like you to tell me, can I ask?" Just from that one sentence, Lily seemed to understand what I was about to ask. Though she still looked scared, she appeared resolved and began to explain herself.
Grandma, do you remember when I made a pinky promise with Grandpa?
Yes, of course.
Then, it's really over, isn't it? After I'm discharged, I'll go to heaven where Daddy is right away.
However, the truth Lily shared was disjointed and sounded like a child's incomplete story, difficult to understand. I decided to slowly coax out what Lily was afraid of and what she was trying to communicate. Initially, all she would say was, "It's no use, I made a pinky promise, so it's impossible," repeating it while appearing scared. But as we talked more persistently, I realized Lily was caught up in some narrative. The story was from a picture book that her grandpa had given Lily when she was in preschool. The content was simple. If you break a promise, a demon appears and you are forced to stick needles in your eyes and die as punishment. Yes, the story in the book was almost identical to the lyrics of the Pinky Promise song.
I promised to deliver the lunch but couldn't keep it. So now I'm going to be made to stick needles in my eyes. But if that happens, I'll be dying, right? That's why I was hiding, so I wouldn't have to meet Grandpa.
So that was it. But maybe if you apologize to Grandpa, it'll be okay, right?
No, it won't. The demon refers to someone who cries because they've been lied to. That's why I can't meet Grandpa, or he'll stick me the needles.
It seemed Lily believed that the victim of a broken promise would stick needles to the offender. In this case, she thought of her grandpa as the victim, and herself as the offender. Fearing that Grandpa would come to make her being stuck needles because she lied. This adorable misunderstanding made me burst out laughing. After all the worry and even doubting my husband's kindness, what were those days for? I realized I had a huge misunderstanding myself, and couldn't stop laughing.
Grandma?
Lily, who had just completed her biggest confession in life and was tormented by reflection and regret, was utterly bewildered by my hearty laughter. Sorry. I apologized while finishing my coffee in one gulp. Then, taking a deep breath, I made a suggestion to Lily.
That makes sense. Thank you, Grandma. I'll try my best.
Lily responded and returned to her bright, cheerful smile, just like before the accident. Finally, we can return to our normal life. I thought, relieved to see her smile again. The next day, Lily left the hospital room without any trace of anxiety or fear, shining with the joy of returning to a normal, happy life and eager about what she was going to do next. On the following Saturday morning, Lily and I resumed our morning routine of making lunches. The menu for her first homemade lunch after discharge was the same as that day: 2 ham sandwiches with tomatoes and a thick omelet, all made by Lily herself. Given it was her second attempt, Lily's proficiency had improved even further.
Okay, it's ready. Shall we have breakfast now?
Yes, let's do that. Unlike that day, we had a proper breakfast together, and I reminisced about our conversation in the hospital room. Lily, looking puzzled at my laughter. I had suggested to her, "Then let's make a lunch one more time and deliver it. That way, you wouldn't have broken your promise, right?" Thanks to that suggestion, Lily had completely regained her usual smile. And with that, her relationship with her grandpa was also mended, leading up to today's lunch. Now we just have to deliver it, but let's not be careless. To avoid repeating the mistake of that day, Lily and I decided on a departure time in advance. Moreover, I got ready before making the lunch, ensuring I could leave at any time. Lily also seemed to have reflected on her hasty actions that day and was much calmer. Still, the excitement of anticipation was hard to beat.
Isn't it time yet?
Lily kept checking the clock and muttering in disappointment. I also kept an eye on the clock while washing dishes to pass the time.
Oh, Luke? It's time, right? Can I get ready?
Lily, as if she had been waiting just for this moment, happily came to tell me. I smiled warmly and answered, "All right, shall we go?" Then Lily, carefully holding the lunchbox, headed to the front door.
Grandma, hurry up.
She was lying in wait, already with her shoes on. Okay, I replied softly, and we both stepped out of the house. Together, hand in hand, we headed to the company where my husband was waiting. Upon arrival, the receptionist guided us to my husband's department office. Usually, I would just hand over forgotten items at the reception, but today we were allowed inside the office. Entering a special space known as the workplace, Lily's face was tense with nervousness, a look I had never seen before. Her expression was so endearing that not only I but also the receptionist couldn't help but smile.
"This is the office for Michael's department. Well then, I'll take my leave."
After exchanging brief greetings, we immediately looked for my husband.
Lily!
From the back of the room, we heard my husband's voice, and Lily happily looked in the direction of the sound.
Grandpa.
As she called out to him, Lily ran and jumped into his arms, still holding the lunchbox.
Here's your lunch. I made everything myself. All by myself,
she said, beaming with confidence, and handed the lunchbox to him.
Is that so? You made it all by yourself. Thank you. Then I must eat it right away.
Like someone cradling a newborn, my husband carefully held the lunchbox and took us to a nearby break room. As we all sat down at the round table in the break room, my husband opened the lunchbox lid with a strangely nervous face.
Wow.
He let out a small cry of joy and picked up a thick slice of omelet with his fork, bringing it to his mouth.
Grandpa, is it good?
Lily asked, a bit worried, as she watched him.
Oh, it's delicious. The best I've ever had.
While saying this, he looked up to the sky. Tears were faintly visible in his eyes.
What's wrong? Are you okay, eh?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just surprised because Lily's lunch is too delicious.
Yay. Then, I'll keep making lunch for you from now on.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Watching the exchange between Lily and her grandpa, I thought to myself about the words from now on. Just like Emma's husband's illness and the recent accident, peaceable daily life and unfortunate events are always juxtaposed. That's why, to continue enjoying peaceful days, we must not neglect doing everything possible to ensure safety and care, and to cherish every moment of the present. That was what I was thinking,